When I married Claire, I thought we were the kind of couple that never wavered. Solid. Unshakable. I never saw a reason to dig too deep into her past. It didn't matter to me. She once mentioned her ex, Daniel. Said it had been young love, long over before I even entered her life. I took her word for it. That name meant nothing to me, until it came back to haunt us. Our wedding was 3 weeks away when the first sign appeared, subtle but sharp enough to unsettle something in me. I came home late one evening to find her sitting on the couch, her phone resting on her knee. She wasn't scrolling or texting, just staring at it. When I called her name, she startled, flipping the phone over like it had burned her fingers. I noticed, but said nothing. That was my mistake, believing silence could protect what honesty would have saved. The next morning, as we sipped coffee together, she broke the quiet with a confession that made the cup stop halfway to my lips. James, I think I need to see Daniel before the wedding. For closure. At first, I thought she was joking. Closure? 2 weeks before she was supposed to marry me? Closure for what? I asked, keeping my tone calm though my pulse quickened. She hesitated, tracing the rim of her mug with trembling fingers. I just never got to say goodbye properly. I think it would help me move forward with you. I wanted to laugh at the absurdity. Instead, I nodded, pretending to understand. I told myself it was harmless, just emotional baggage she needed to unpack. But her tone, her nervous hands, her distant eyes, all of it screamed otherwise. That night, she said she was meeting an old friend for dinner. She dressed up more than usual, the scent of her perfume sharp and deliberate. I didn't follow her. I just waited. When she finally came home, it was past midnight. Her hair was slightly messy, shoes dangling from her fingers. I asked casually, "How was dinner?" She smiled, the kind of smile that doesn't reach the eyes, and said, "It was needed." Then she kissed my cheek, as if routine could erase guilt. I didn't sleep a minute that night. Over the next few days, she grew distant. Unanswered messages. Short calls. The usual work's been crazy excuse. But the space between us wasn't just emotional, it was intentional. So I crossed the line I never thought I would. While she showered one morning, I picked up her phone. My hands trembled as I scrolled, half hoping to find nothing. But there it was, a message from Daniel. I needed that too. "You looked even more beautiful than I remember." Her reply hit harder than I expected. "You always knew what to say." I set the phone down. My chest felt heavy, not with anger, but with clarity. I wasn't preparing for a wedding anymore. I was preparing for a goodbye. The next morning I asked calmly, "Are you planning to see him again?" She blinked, startled. "No. It was just one time. I promise." Promises. They sound comforting until you realize how easily they're made by people who've already broken them. I nodded like I believed her. Even smiled. Told her the wedding planner needed some confirmations. She looked relieved, completely unaware that I had already decided what kind of closure she was going to get. Over the next week, she threw herself into wedding details, flowers, dresses, seating charts. Meanwhile, I was quietly undoing everything. The venue deposit was under my name, so I canceled it. The photographer? Notified. My groomsmen were the only ones I trusted, and they knew everything. By the time the invitations were finalized, I had already rewritten the ending. When the day arrived, everything looked picture perfect. The guests filled the chapel, music floated softly through the air, and Claire walked toward me in her white dress, radiant, composed, and utterly unaware. But I didn't see beauty anymore. I saw betrayal dressed in lace. As she reached the altar, something shifted in the room. The priest wasn't holding his usual script. My best man, Ryan, avoided her gaze. Even the pianist hesitated, fingers hovering above the keys. Then silence. "James," she whispered, confusion flickering behind her smile. "What's happening?" I took a steady breath. "You wanted closure, Claire," I said, my voice echoing through the chapel. "I figured I'd give it to you, before vows become lies." The murmurs began immediately. Guests looked at each other in disbelief. Claire's smile cracked. "Can we talk about this privately?" she pleaded. I shook my head. "No. You wanted truth. Closure isn't something you hide behind closed doors." Her face went pale. You went through my phone? I went through my future, I said. And it looked exactly like your past. Someone in the crowd gasped. My mother turned away. Her parents sat frozen, faces drained of color. Claire reached for my hand, but I stepped back. That tiny movement was enough. She knew. I turned to the guests. Thank you for being here today, I said. But this wedding is canceled. Claire will be fine. She's always had someone waiting for her. The gasp that followed was sharp enough to pierce the silence. Her bouquet slipped from her hands, scattering petals across the floor like the ruins of something once beautiful. I didn't wait for her response. I walked out. Outside, the sun hit my face. It didn't feel like loss. It felt like release. My groomsmen followed silently behind me. The cameras caught it all, and I didn't care. Some truths deserve to be seen. 2 days later, she showed up at my apartment. Her eyes were red, her voice hoarse. You humiliated me, she said. No, I replied. You did that yourself. I just made sure the lights were on. She begged me not to share the details, but it was too late. Daniel's girlfriend, turns out he wasn't single, had seen the wedding footage circulating online. The story spread fast, and with it, Claire's carefully curated image collapsed. She lost more than a wedding. She lost her facade. I didn't celebrate. There was no satisfaction in it, just quiet understanding. The kind that doesn't glitter, but steadies you. Months later, I moved to a new city, started fresh. Then one night, I got an email from Daniel. Guess I should thank you, he wrote. Didn't realize she still had feelings for me until your wedding. I didn't reply. Some conversations don't deserve to be revived. A year later, I met someone new. Her name was Lena. She came without ghosts, without games. We met reaching for the same book, The Art of Letting Go. I couldn't help but smile at the irony. She asked me once if I regretted how things ended with Claire. No, I told her. Closure isn't something you wait for. It's what happens when you stop expecting apologies that never come. Claire did try once more, sent a letter asking to meet. Said she finally understood what she'd lost. I never wrote back.